Christopher Nolan's Odyssey by Richard Spencer.
Long story short,
Well, the thing is, it's like it's not. It's a bubble in the sense that it's not like producing the value that's being invested. That's saying that money is real. Money is not really real. It's kind of just like this arbitrary thing that is like invented and like distributed unequally and distributed to get people to do things. And people treat it like it's real, but it really isn't. It's not like backed by gold or anything. And so it's like that's why it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter what they're spending on it. It doesn't matter how much it costs. It doesn't matter, what what the companies are doing. These are just government funded projects. Like the government is just funding these projects, and there's a bunch of people getting rich during it, and there's like real things happening during it. But at the end of the day, this is like a government funded project. Government funded projects don't go bankrupt; they just continue on forever, and they won't get shut down. So there's no real reason why it's going to go down in value or crash or whatever. Now the companies themselves hypothetically could crash. There's no reason to expect. But yeah, like anybody's talking about, oh, they cost this much money, they don't produce any value. They are like either stupid or they're being disingenuous. Why would if this is 50% of the economy, why would like the government let it crash? You know what I mean? It's just stupid. Everybody's looking for this big one moment, and it's like there's not a big moment. It's just like everything's bought out. Like they're doing insider trading, like obviously not even insiders doing obviously insider trading publicly. So it's like there's no this whole from top to bottom. It's just obviously corrupt. Like Trump has made it super clear how corrupt it is, and it's just kind of obvious. And there's no real reason to suspect that like market forces and whether or not Anthropic makes money or whether or not OpenAI makes money, it actually will ever make a difference.
I think that I would describe
Yeah. Yeah, if stuff didn't crash during COVID, why would it crash? Why would it crash during nothing? Who knows? It could crash, but there's no like it's really just the whims of like these rich people. Like that's really how you have to understand like life at this point is that it's the whims of rich people. It's not market forces. It's not like people playing a game and winning. It's whims of people by fluke of birth and who they know deciding big things. And you have to kind of as much as possible get away from that. Because if you're, yeah, you could be benefiting from the whims of the rich people. You could be benefiting of the whims of whatever. But eventually their whims are going to change. So you kind of have to figure out how do I get away from it as best possible while I can, while I'm like comfortable, while I have options. So I'm not going to eventually be worried about the whims of the rich person, the whims of the king, and the whims of like the crazy people. Things are going to get crazier and the whims are going to be very malicious. Like the whims are going to get more and more malicious as the country gets worse and worse and people get more and more like deranged. And I say a lot about like take all the wealth or whatever, arrest people just because it feels like nice, because who cares? They're annoying. I'm saying that as a joke, really, because I don't really care. It's like not actually. I'm not emotionally invested in that happening because it's not going to happen. And also, I have stuff to do. But there's gonna be eventually like look at Sneeko and realize that's like what people are gonna be like. Everyone's gonna be like that. That's gonna be the vast majority of people voting and participating in society, and those people are like idiots. So like that is kind of where things are headed. So you don't want to be relying on those people because those people are weird and freaks, and they are malicious. They don't just joke about it; they actually do mean it, and they're like stupid.
Odysseus as proto-Jewish. He's maybe the world's first Jew. But he's an Aryan Jew, if that makes sense.
So this is the movie Jeffy
a little
loves,
bit
huh?
halfway
about proto-Jews. Interesting. So this is Jeffy's goat here
between Jacob and Esau, and he has components of both. And I'm just thinking of Schleskin's the Jewish Century, which is right there on my bookshelf, and he understands Odysseus in the same way. He's a man of twists and turns, but he's also a man who wouldn't apologize for pillaging and raping a village.
Like
and
me.
So he sort of is right there in the Bronze Age at the birth of all of these things. But just a couple of things to remember here. And we talked about how the Olympians are
Moses was
split
Egyptian for the
on
record. Moses didn't
Greece and
exist.
Troy.
Ooh, could I say that out
Um,
loud?
he is descended from
Oh,
Hermes. Hermes plays a role in Homer's The Odyssey. It's, smallish, but he plays no role in Nolan's film. And it's very interesting I think when they're navigating the whirlpool and Scylla and Charybdis.
yeah. The parting of the Red Sea is like a mistranslation of like whatever the reeds nearby. It's like just literally like there's like reeds that are like moved.
They
Oops, did I say that out
when we
loud?
have the ultimate crash of the vessel and the death of all of his men, Odysseus actually saves himself by grabbing onto a fig tree. And the fig is
And there's zero evidence of slavery in Egypt. That's like another crazy thing. Is there zero evidence of slaves or losing slaves in Egypt in ancient Egypt? It's just not a thing. There's just not didn't happen. There's zero evidence that the pyramids were built by slaves.
a totem of Dionysus. And
Oh, did I say that
I
out loud?
absolutely think that
I've
there
been watching
is
too much Richard Spencer. I've been too tapped into the Alexandria on Substack YouTube channel.
gem, if we want to call it. It's sort of proto gem, because obviously Judaism doesn't exist in 800 BC or
Damn, bro's reading
thereabouts
Coconut Water
whenever
at the
this was
time.
written. But much as we saw with the Greeks, the Achaeans, Argives,
Look, aliens
with
built
the
built the pyramids. Okay, let's just be real. It wasn't Jews; it was aliens. They built the pyramids.
Iliad, we see the same thing
Well, is there
in the
evidence that proves it didn't happen? Boom, Truk. Jeffy with the classic Truk.
Odyssey.
They had black slaves. Richard is out to lunch.
With this sort of, it's not over the top, and it's not right in your,
noise?
with this sort of, it's not over the top, and it's not Odyssey.
What's that noise, dude?
With this sort of, it's not over the top,
What was that, bro?
and it's not right in your face. But there's a Dionysian or
It's very
Hermes
funny how the Odyssey
Mercurian
filtered chuds.
connection.
Yeah, it's interesting. Coney35 and Jeffy both love the Odyssey. Interesting. Makes you wonder if they are the same account pretending to be other people.
With these people vis-a-vis other civilizations.
You don't,
And
Paul? I didn't
so-
watch it. I don't really like. I'll probably watch it. I don't even know if I will though. It's the same thing with what's it called, Oppenheimer. I didn't watch Oppenheimer because it's like it doesn't really seem that interesting to me. I'm not really interested in it. Like that's my honest opinion on it. Is that like it just seems kind of boring. Like it's not that it's like woke or it's awesome. It's just kind of boring, and as I don't really care. But I'll probably watch it when it comes out on streaming, so I can like pirate it or something, and I can watch it, so I can have a comment about it. But yeah, I don't know. It was to me, it was like it's like one of those things. It's like kind of looks kind of bleh the whole time.
Oh, I think Homer and the Homeric hymns.
So I don't really care, but yeah, no, I don't. The webms I've seen of it do look bad. Though I will say they do look bad, like all the clips I've seen. But then I've heard enough people say it's actually pretty good outside of that. But I don't know. I think everyone's being retarded about it. If I had to guess, it's probably like a 6 out of 10 movie, or a 6.5 out of 10. If I had to guess, that would be my guess. I feel like Christopher Nolan's kind of a little boring,
etc. I think they might be thought of best as
yeah. I think it's probably not amazing. It's also probably not horrible. It's probably like above average or not that good.
proto gem or gem that hasn't been fully actualized or worked out, but they are gem. And I would say this in contradistinction to people who want to be like, the Odyssey is our Bible, it's the war cry of Aryan man or something. It's like, no, it it is.
I thought that too.
It
I
is
was surprised how
the
much I like
epic of the first Jew.
Maybe I'll like it a
That's
lot.
how
I'll
I
let
would
you know.
describe it.
I'll let you know
I
when
don't
I
say
see
that
it.
as a criticism. It's not like it's not great. And I'll mention also one other thing.
Also, what's his name? Who's the actor who plays like Odysseus? What's his name? Who's is it Matt Damon? I don't think Matt Damon, like an Irish person shouldn't be like playing Odysseus. I'm sorry. Like that's how based I am. But like an Irish person, he does not look like a Roman or like some sort of like legend or whatever. He looks he doesn't look like somebody who would be a hero. I could see what's the guy's name? Who's Batman? What's his name? But yeah, Matt Damon, not really. It's like Mark Wahlberg, Matt Damon. Their faces are just not like proper for like that type of person. You know what I mean? And to me, that just is not appealing. Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg are not like they're chuddy. They're a little chuddy looking. You know.
Real quick before I talk about
It didn't matter at all. Just like Helen. Yeah, but they should look like there needs like there's not even the black thing. It's like they should look good looking. Matt Damon isn't really good looking. Neither is Mark Wahlberg. Neither really is that black lady, honestly. Like they should look attractive if they're gonna be the heroes. Sorry, I think attractive people should be in charge, and they should have like it shouldn't be ugly people really. Why would I pay to see something ugly? You know what I mean?
Christopher
Like I don't even care if it's a black person or not, but it should be somebody who's attractive. You know.
Nolan's work.
That is the most racist BS I've ever heard you say, says Big Bongo. I'm sorry, dude. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
So this is mentioned in the book, and we also mentioned this in our course when we were reading
Yeah,
selections
Christian
from
Bale is like a much better looking person. Like that's like somebody a little more noble. Like some people have noble looking faces, some people don't have noble looking faces. And like Matt Damon doesn't really have a noble looking face. Neither does Mark Wahlberg. Right? Those are people like they're not ugly necessarily, but they don't look noble. You need like a noble look to characters to sell it, you know? They're actors, they're not ugly, holy. Yes, they are, dude. They're ugly. They're fine. I mean, once again, they're not ugly, disgusting. But there's nothing you see them like, oh, this looks like somebody could be a Greek hero, you know? This person, excuse me, Matt MF Damon is fine as frog hair. Timothy Chalamet should play every role. No, he's kind of like ratty. He looks like a rat a little bit. He's not bad looking, but he looks like a rat. He wouldn't be like a good. He's a good Dune person. He's a good fit for Dune, but he's not really a good fit for like a Greek person. They should have the golden one be the play Odysseus. Yeah, Irish people shouldn't be playing Greek heroes. I'm sorry. Call me woke or whatever. Call me like, but it's really they should have Jason Momoa play. They should have Jason. I'm sorry. Irish people shouldn't be.
the Iliad is so during
This
the
game is
Bronze Age.
never getting on Steam now. One racist tirade too many. Yeah. It's kind of chuddy. It's the thing is, it's not even chuddy. It's like more chuddy than chuds. Like, cause the thing is, I'm part Irish, but I think you should have like Greek-looking people, and even if they're not Greek-looking, have them look noble. Like, have them have certain like, you know, cheekbones and certain jaws and certain like facial proportions that evoke dignity in a way that Matt Damon doesn't. I'm sorry.
Collapse, there's this
You're pretty chudded up.
fascinating
I'm more chudded up than anybody. That's why I'm like done with politics because I'm literally just straight up Chudville population 1. You know, I'm so chudded up. Everyone else is just like a woke libtard.
group called the Sea People.
I'm
The
extremely
people of
political.
the
Yeah, I am literally like the most political person I've known. But I'm like real about it. Everyone else is just like a fake thing. So because I can't kill everybody in the universe, I have to like live with it and move on, you know.
Sea. And we know very little about them, but
Paul,
we
they speak
know that
American
they
English, it
were
doesn't matter. This is just trolling now. Now, of course they speak English because that's their audience. But their audience it'll be like a white person playing like Barack Obama in a movie. It's like, well, they're speaking English instead of African. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I don't want a white person playing Obama. What are you talking about? That's retarded.
catastrophically terrible. And they invaded multiple lands and ransacked them and so on. Who were they? Were they roving pirates? Possibly. Were they sort of the equivalent of illegal immigrants or refugees, like roving bands of marauders? wreaking havoc everywhere, collapsing civilizations. Did they cause the Bronze Age collapse? Probably not. I would say that they probably were a symptom of a Bronze Age collapse. But one interesting theory that a few people have thrown out there, and we sort of throw it out there as well in our book, we're not positive about it, is that the Iliad is a kind of mask on the sea people and other illegal immigrant, quote unquote, or refugee peoples that were invading these civilizations.
Jeffy's just weird tonight, dude. Honestly, Jeffy, you need to seek therapy, bro. You need to seek therapy because you're freaking everyone in chat out, dude.
As they were declining and collapsing 1,000 years before Christ. And so
Jeffy and Coney are on the same page. They both love the Odyssey.
Greeks are the sea people. They arrive in black ships. They're at a lower level of civilization. They're, black ships in Homeric hymns. These
Keith owns your ass, dude. Jeffy, Keith owns your ass.
They're ships from Crete.
Keith would beat your ass.
Basically,
he did UFC.
Gang raping
MMA
pirates,
He'll
pedophiles who then become priests. But anyway, they are the bad guys.
Cheese
and
Chomper owns
Troy.
guys, though. Let's be real. Keith owns Jeffy, but Cheese Chomper owns everybody in this chat, dude.
It represents a higher civilization. Now, what do we make of all of this? Is it interesting that Paris, whose Trojans stole Helen, the Hellenes, the essence of beauty, of blondness, etc., and took her to civilization? What do we make of that? Is that a kind of twist on what I'm saying? I don't know the answer. It's no doubt worth going into. But the whole Iliad epic might be a mask because it's written hundreds of years after the Bronze Age collapse. It's a sort of like mask placed on these people. And much like in some civil situation where, let's say, the United States collapses and then we have, due to climate change or whatever, we have all these millions of refugees from Mexico and South America come in and they kind of ransack the place, but then sort of later on establish order. And maybe they even learn the virtues of America from the defeated Priam who comes and speaks to them or something like this. 200 years later, we would create this epic where like the illegal immigrants were.
Dude, one time I saw like Ian Michael Jones and he had this fit, was literally probably the best fit I've ever seen, where it was like, he had a turtleneck on, right? And then underneath the turtleneck, he had a scarf. And then over the turtleneck, he had like a polo. And I was like, damn, that's the best look I've ever seen in my life from anybody in the entire world. I was like shocked. I was literally shocked how good it was. It was literally mind-blowing. It blew my mind to the degree that like I forgot all the things I thought negative about him. And I just, whatever I think of him, I think of that one outfit where I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I'll never live up. I'm never gonna, surpass that outfit there.
Like Catholics or of the West.
It was amazing, dude. It was probably the best like moment in my life watching content where you're just like shock, just pure shock and awe at something.
Or noble people or a founding population or something. So it's a mask on top of the notion that these are like the Greeks, the people we should root for or something is a little bit spurious or suspicious in my mind. And Nolan in his film, I'm not sure he sort of is addressing this. So he adds a number of things. One of them is that Penelope, Odysseus's long-suffering wife, and Telemachus, his son, they're speaking, and she's like, the people of the sea, they're like, we don't know anything about them, but they're coming and they're dangerous, so we need a king. So it sort of adds some urgency. And then later on in the film, there's at least a suggestion that the Greeks might be the sea people, or at least they inspired the sea people, that after the Greeks sacked Troy, that this inspired waves of banditry and stuff like that. So I did find that rather interesting, and that's something that is not in the text. and Nolan is bringing it in. But I guess overall on Nolan, I mean, this movie was, I found it very entertaining in the way that Oppenheimer was not very entertaining, although visually interesting in many places, but was a bit of a slog. And I've not rewatched Oppenheimer, and I probably won't rewatch Oppenheimer maybe for another few years.
Whoa.
But I think differently of this one. It is a Nolan movie. It looks like a Nolan movie for better and for worse. I mean, there's been this Nolan effect that has been in Hollywood since The Dark Knight. Desaturate the image. It's gray and brown with maybe a light blue tinge, and everything's serious and sort of ultra moral as well. Like The Dark Knight, even though it's it's a dark and gritty reboot, and that's true to some extent, but it's remarkable how moral Christopher Nolan's Batman is. He just, the whole "I don't kill" thing was sort of more honored in The Breach than The Observance. I mean, Tim Burton's Batman would just kill people, these crazy clowns and various villains that he would face. But Christopher Nolan's version was, we need to set a good example for all of Gotham, that they can learn that they too can be good liberals like myself. He created something, and you see that definitely in James Bond movies after The Dark Knight, like Skyfall and Spectre. You see this even in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They sort of adopted some of the Nolan like things. See a lot of Nolanism in Hollywood, and you definitely see that here. So there are a few moments where there is a bright blue sea, and you really feel like you're in the Mediterranean or Aegean Sea or Southern European land or islands. But that's the exception to the rule. It is gray and brown, and it's deadly serious. And I think this is a big problem with Odysseus, because I mean, I certainly don't hate Matt Damon. I mean, I would say that I like Matt Damon. But Matt Damon, he's best at playing characters
Boom.
who are
Vindicated. Vindication. Have I just been vindicated or what? Did I just win the argument? Did I just literally win the entire argument right there?
guileless and straightforward. And that works in Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. But the fact is, the man of twists and turns, the world's first Jews,
I was just vindicated, bro.
so to speak, this trickster who, like Jacob, outmaneuvers people, and someone who, by the way, says flatly, we went to this island and raped and pillaged, and yeah, that was fun, without any pang of conscience. That's not the Odysseus here. And Matt Damon, he's shell-shocked from the Trojan War in a somewhat moving way. But is that Odysseus, or is this now a kind of, white American Hollywood imagining what it would be like if there were a man who went through the Trojan War, like a man who went through Vietnam? He feels guilty about the horse, because much like with The Dark Knight, where there's like, we don't kill, no guns, Catwoman. Much like that, Christopher Nolan puts a tremendous amount of emphasis, and this is appropriate. He puts a tremendous amount of emphasis on the law of hospitality, or what they refer to as Zeus's law. So basically, if you are a traveler, you will receive accommodations gladly. They'll give you food and drink, let you stay a night or two. Don't be the guest that will not leave. like the suitors, but there are just rules of hospitality. And the old wives' tale that justifies this is that you never know if that traveler might be a god in disguise.
Facts.
And this he makes, and this is an important thing about the ancient world. There's no doubt, but he almost makes this custom, I would say, like the centerpiece of Bronze Age morality and the Bronze Age world. And there's this problem where the suitors are so if you don't know the basic narrative of the Odyssey, so Odysseus goes off to war. It takes him 10, the war takes 10 years, takes another 10 to get back, et cetera, et cetera. But the suitors for Penelope are just staying in Odysseus's house. They won't leave. They're threatening. They're depleting the supplies. They're leeches, et cetera, et cetera. And Odysseus kills them all at the end when he returns. But they make it this interesting thing where it's like, to kill the suitors are disobeying the spirit of Zeus's law, no doubt, but to kill them would almost be worse. And Odysseus, if he kills them, would be rightly hunted by everyone. But also the gift of the horse at Troy was this, he broke the law as well. Like Odysseus is almost responsible for the Bronze Age collapse due to a declining morality. I'm not even exaggerating here. I think this is what Christopher Nolan is saying and what he's putting forth. Like the Trojan horse was an equally more egregious breaking of Zeus's law, and he's guilt-ridden for it. And he just sort of, he looks like Moses, and he's wearing Greek armor from the 5th century, but it's in the Bronze Age, and Odysseus is a moralist. And so the movie is incredible and overwhelming, even in the visuals, and IMAX certainly adds to that. The whole thing holds up. I was definitely never bored, and the movie is 3 hours, but I was never bored. Good action, characters, etc. But it's a Christopher Nolan movie. It's like Dark Odysseus Rises.
Whoa.
Basically, it's like the story of Bruce Wayne.
Whoa.
As opposed to Homer's Odysseus. And, there's some other things I want to add here, but that's my takeaway from it. It really is great, though. I don't want to
the age of bronze.
I don't want to bash it, because on some level, the fact that Hollywood, which is clearly in decline financially, but also in decline in terms of relevance, is still able to make a product like this is incredible. I mean, it's written, directed, and produced by Christopher Nolan, but the amount of manpower that goes into like tightening up that script and making sure that everything works, to get all these actors, and all of the actors are good.
I feel like it's a midwit trap, dude. I feel like Joker 2 was way more important than Odysseus. The Odyssey. I feel like caring about this is for midwits.
In we can talk about woke casting later, but all the actors are very good. The music is overpowering. It's all filmed on IMAX, so it's just huge, visually impressive, realistic. I would put that in quotes. You do definitely feel like you're on a boat and you might be taken into a whirlpool. I mean, it's and then there's some CGI with some of the monsters like the Cyclops and things like that. So as a product of corporate Hollywood, it is incredible. And that's not a backhanded criticism. Like, Hollywood is still able to produce something at a grand scale that is entertaining and impressive and thoughtful and thought-provoking. So I wouldn't want to bash the movie at all. But I think maybe due to the fact that Christopher Nolan is likely autistic, that he wants to make everything literal. You know, like the horse has to be sinking into the beach. Now, maybe that's a symbol in itself, like a decline or something like that. But it seems like he just want to be. He was like, well, what if they built this giant wooden horse? Wouldn't it sink? And oh, I don't. We need to make this real. He's autistic, and thus he takes everything literally. And so I think what he's done is
Matrix 4 is better than Odyssey. Sorry, guys. Matrix 4 is superior to the Odyssey.
update the Odyssey for a modern audience, but in doing so, he's evaporated Odysseus's character.
I'm right.
And he's really evaporated any symbolism that is in
Nolan midwit trap.
Homer's.
Yeah, honestly, dude. If somebody tells me their favorite director is not Christopher Nolan, I think low of them. I think they're probably not that smart, honestly,
Epic.
and they don't have much taste, honestly, because his movies are serviceable. All his movies are serviceable, but if somebody says their favorite director is Nolan, I think they're probably not that smart.
And he's made something that's sort of appealing to modern audiences. Like,
it's all right though. It's okay. Look, it's okay to have no taste. Most people don't. Successful people don't. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. Does he have taste? No. Look at Elon Musk. Does he have taste? No. Taste. It's something that very few rich people have. There's most rich people. If you want to be rich, it's much better to be a midwit and have no taste than to be a genius with taste. There's very few geniuses with taste who actually are successful. So if you're trying to be successful in life, it's better to be just mind-numbingly average and have no taste and not like the Matrix 4 or Joker 2, and that's okay. It's just totally chill. You'll probably have a happier life than somebody with taste who's a genius who likes Joker 2 and Matrix 4. You'll probably have more money. You'll get along with people more, You'll enjoy the future a lot more than somebody who has taste. If you worship Christopher Nolan, you're probably not that smart, or you probably don't have taste, and that's okay. You'll probably be successful in ways that people who have taste will never be successful.
Here's another example. Sir,
Paul, I pity the fool with no taste, and that fool is you, dude. Come on, man. I don't need this right now, okay? I don't need this energy in my chat right now, dude. Rich people have better taste usually. No, neither rich people nor poor people at this point have taste, generally. Like, taste is actually pretty rare. I think it's probably, if I had to guess, fairly equally distributed between people who are pretty, like, not well off because they're so autistic, and then some people who are extremely wealthy. It's probably one of those, like, weird distributions where it's like among the ultra wealthy, the small percentage have taste, and among the ultra poor, a small percentage have taste. And that's probably what it is. And everyone else probably doesn't have taste. That'd be my guess.
Circe.
People have taste, they make night for. Exactly.
Circe, however you pronounce. The witch who turns Odysseus's men into pigs.
And you can't escape that. It will haunt you forever. We brought it tonight. Big time. No, you did not. You did not. All you expose yourself as a fool, dude. You expose yourself as having no taste. Christopher Nolan, I like some of his movies, but are they masterpieces? No. Josh Safdie, all of his movies are better than any of the Christopher Nolan movies. All Josh Safdie movies are more tasteful. The Safdie brothers make much more tasteful movies, much higher IQ, much more beautiful movies than anything Christopher Nolan's ever created. But Christopher Nolan has made good slop. He has made good schlock, right? He's made good Batman Begins, Dark Knight, Bane. What else? Inception, that was good. He's made a lot of really good B-tier movies, but none of them are really like deep, like a Safdie film. Marty Supreme, exactly, yeah. Interstellar is all right. I've seen it maybe once or twice. It's too much. It's too over the top. Interstellar is kind of like a poor man's version of The Beach Bum. And once you figure out what I mean, when I say stuff like that, the problem is somebody with taste would understand. If I was talking to Basil, that guy, that gay guy, Basil, if we were on his podcast and I said Interstellar is a lot like an inferior version of the Beach Bum, he'd be like, "Yeah, I get you. I get what you're saying." Because he's taste. He has taste. You know, he has flavor. He has taste. You know, he has swag. But in my chat, because they're a bunch of Nolan fans, they don't understand. Like, well, the Beach Bum's about a guy who's on a typewriter on a hammock. How could that be like Interstellar? Because they don't understand that Matthew McConaughey's in both movies. Because they don't understand. They're not smart enough.
and and actually lets him go visit the underworld and
Interstellar's not amazing. It's good though. It's silly. It's a little, once again, it's fake deep, and that's okay. But it is a little bit of slop.
things like that. Um,
Beach Bum is like Kino of the highest order. Beach Bum is probably one of the best movies ever created.
she's done fine. I mean, I kind of wanted
Manhunter is probably superior though, by Michael Mann.
that character to be a little more over the top. Like you're a witch. You sort of look like a normal woman. I don't know. I sort of wanted that to be scarier. And also, when he goes to the underworld, Achilles is not there, so I don't
Interstellar is
know
good,
why he made that
but
choice.
it's not great. White Boy Rick is better than Interstellar. I like White Boy Rick a lot better than Interstellar. I'd watch White Boy Rick any day of the week. Would I watch Interstellar any day of the week? Nah.
And he takes out some of these things, like when they're trapped with the Cyclops,
I bet Paul cried when he watched Interstellar. No, I just mean it's just overwrought. That's what that's the problem with Interstellar. It's too overwrought. It's like the same reason why that Dutch guy's movies, like the Tenenbaum Affair, or whatever it's called, those movies are too twee. Interstellar and all like Christopher Nolan movies, they're too like they have the cinematic scores and they have like the loudness, and it's like, when did we all agree this is like actually that serious? It's not that serious. When did we agree? It's like Boomerville. It's like what's his name? Jimmy Buffett. It's like if I love Jimmy Buffett songs, maybe I love Christopher Nolan. You sound jealous? No, dude. No, I don't think he's that great. I think Safdies are better. I think Harmony Korine is better. I think a lot of people are better than the Nolan. Nolan's all right. He's not horrible. I think he makes good stuff. Solid. I think solid B plus A minus movies are probably like, whenever Christopher Nolan comes out with a movie, it's like a solid B plus A minus. But he never gets that A plus. He never gets that Kino. He never gets like the he's always serviceable. You know, it's like Michael Bay. Like, it's fun, but it's not. You're never gonna say a Michael Bay movie is like art or like amazing. Whereas there are a lot of directors where it's like, Marty Supreme's like, this is amazing. This is a really really good movie. Or like Uncut Gems. That's just amazing. It's such a great movie. Stuff like that, or Pie. That's like another amazing movie. But you don't really see none of the Christopher Nolan movies are that. It's like the same with David Lynch, where it's like, yeah, David Lynch, you can make a much stronger argument, but even that, David Lynch falls short, because it's like, yeah, these are really cool, but they're kind of just like a little obnoxious. They're a little too much. They're a little too freaky. They're to the point where they're not freaky. The man who denounces Nolan merely defines himself as the man who is unequal to him. Damn, bro. I didn't know my chat loved Christopher Nolan like this. It's crazy. No, Guy Ritchie's not. I wouldn't say Guy. I think Nolan's better than Guy Ritchie. I would say Nolan is probably superior to Guy Ritchie.
Um, Odysseus tells the Cyclops, "I'm no man. What's my name? I'm no."
I liked what's his name? I did like Inception a lot. Inception is really good. I liked The Prestige. Is that a Nolan or whatever? It's either Prestige or the other one. I thought that was really really good. I don't know. I feel like he lacks it's like everything's very solid. Everything's very solid, but nothing's amazing. Whereas I feel like you go to like even Tim Burton, it's like there's a lot more variance where some of the movies are not that good at all. But then you get something like Edward Scissorhands and it's like, this is amazing. This is an amazing movie. Or like Sleepy Hollow. This is amazing. Or even the Alice in Wonderland movie, the first one. You're like, this is really really good. It's very fun. And then but there's also a lot of crap, But or Ed Banks, that's a good movie. But like that sort of stuff where it's like there's a lot of really good Tim Burton movies that are like peak, that are top tier. Same thing with the Coen brothers. Coen brothers, a lot of really good movies, some top tier movies. Um, but I think Christopher Nolan is solidly like A minus, B plus. A minus at the best, B plus. But there's never any like, wow, this is really good. This is really amazing. You know, the Coen brothers are, yeah. Nolan is way more consistent than Burton. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When Nolan is way more consistent, but it's like consistently good. And I think that's kind of the way when you make art. Or like the Sweeney Todd movie, like that was amazing. That was awesome. Like the thing with like making art is not everything's gonna be solid. Some things are gonna suck, but you're always trying, right? You're pushing yourself. I feel like Nolan's always in the zone where it's like, this works, this works, this works, this works. Do this, this, this. It's kind of like cookie cutter. So it's like if you like cookie cutter stuff, it's fine, it's good. But there's no like, whoa, this is crazy, this is amazing, you know?
Man or no one.
Like when I walked out of Marty Supreme, I was like, that was a great movie. Or the first of Dune, or the second Dune. I was like, that was really, really, really good. Like I really, really enjoyed it. It was really awesome seeing it in the theaters. I don't think I can remember. There was no Nolan movie I've ever seen where I was like that at all, ever. There's movies like this is really fun. I really do like the first Batman, second Batman too. But even those, it's like they're good, but they're not like crazy good. You know what I mean?
It's a and so when the Cyclops is saying, "I'm being attacked by no one," all of his fellow Cyclopses don't
Cohen
come
brothers
to
are
save him. He
amazing.
just gets rid of that fascinating line. I am
It's like, have you guys seen the Green Knight movie? I don't think that's anybody I just saw mentioned, but the Green Knight is a really, really good movie, and it's like really fun. It's like King Arthur or whatever, and by the at the end of it, you're like, damn, that was an amazing movie. That was like really well done, really beautiful, shot really nicely, really magical, really like artistic, really comfy, really fun, really like a great telling of the story, and it's like it just feels perfect. There's never that feeling with Nolan movies. There's never like a whoa, that was actually impressive.
no one.
It's always just the scale. I think that's like the refuge of like somebody like Nolan, where it's like the scale is big. The scale, there's big explosions, there's big fights, there's big things. And I think that's what people are confusing with like being Kino. It's like, yeah, the scale can be cool, but it's not, what makes Dune really cool is not that the scale is big. It's that the setting is so unique and like the interactions are so unique and it feels so like real. Whereas with Nolan, it's like the scale is really big, but it feels like you're living in this little small area. You're in a small zone, and things are happening, and maybe it scoops up, but it's always in the human scope. Whereas Dune, it feels like the scope is like it's interacting in a universe. Um, there's like the environment is alive in a way that's like real. And same thing with like the Green Knight, where it's like the magicalness of it is like all around you. It's the entire frame, the entire setting, all the characters, all the people, all the story, all like the dreams he's having, the water he's in, the people he's talking to. It's all part of this magical feeling. Whereas with Nolan, it's like it's all lifeless. It's all everything's very chemical. Everything's very like a Reddit thread of like, here's this logical point, here's this logical point, here's this logical point, everything follows logic. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like everything follows this order and internal logic of that's very terrestrial and like tamped down. Even Inception, where it's like, oh, the worlds are crazy, but they're actually not crazy because it's in a dream and there's this level of whatever. Everything is like this very mechanical, like everything fits together. Whereas in Dune, it's like everything fits together, but it's very wispy and like vague and very like there's rules, but there's also destiny and there's also like spirits and stuff like that. Same thing with the Green Knight. Same thing with stuff like that. Whereas all of Christopher Nolan stuff is very like tied to Earth in a way, you know. Yeah, it's a formulaic.
And
Sounds like a loser hating. Eggers, I could go either way. It depends on the day. Sometimes I do feel that way, and sometimes like, yeah, he's actually really good though. Yeah, Green Knight is awesome. Barry Lyndon is really good. Yeah. Inception, I like Inception though. It's fun. I like Christopher Nolan movies. I'd say they're schlock though. I think they're schlock, but they're fun. They never rise to the domain of being art. And I think that's where the Nolan people get it wrong. Where they try to say this is like deep, meaningful art, and it's like, no, this is like schlock. And that's okay. But it's schlock. It's
Also,
all B movie tier stuff. Green Knight was amazing. Green Knight was hilarious. It was awesome. It's like a fairy tale. It's awesome.
with Calypso, now
And it
Calypso,
looked so good. Like Green Knight looks so good compared to look at this. Like the color palette. It just looks so good, dude. Lighthouse is really good.
Friends.
Yeah, like the magical realism is kind of like good.
Brothers and sisters.
Yeah, it just feels the green
Who
is so
can
nice. Hence
regale me and my queen with some myth?
oh, this is art.
Or tale?
No, these are real rituals. This king of
O greatest of kings, let one of your knights try to land a blow against me. Indulge me in this game.
I will meet thee.
One year hence.
Another year nearly gone already. You must seek him out.
Was it not just a game?
Perhaps. But it is not complete.
You'll find no mercy, no happy end.
Why do you stop me?
Your doom is at hand.
You rest your bones. I'll finish your quest for you.
And what do you hope to gain from facing all of this?
Honor. That is why a knight does what he does.
Are you ready?
Yeah, dude, this is such a good movie. That's see how it feels alive. It feels like there's a lot of like. It's not that everything is to like these details. It's kind of just like fun. It's like it lives. You know, you see what you want. I guess I think everyone does. But you see how it feels like there's like a spirit to it. There's like a wide. It's like part of the world. Like the whole world is like alive. There, the Nolan stuff is kind of like. It doesn't have that feeling. It's like. Kind of has like the feeling of like. Very personal. The world is small. Yeah, Patel did a really good job, honestly. They did a very, very good job. Excalibur's, but we tried to watch Excalibur. That kind of sucked. Yeah, this. See how it's kind of like. Like everything is like an action. Everything is like. There's the focus, right? Your eyes. Here's the focus. Everything else is incidental. Whereas like the Green Knight, everything is like even this, right? Like this is the focus, or this is the focus, or whatever. And it's just like the Green Knight is just better. Green, see, like even the light is on. Whereas like with the Green Knight,
But it is not.
it's like cool. It's like part of the whole world is alive.
Let one
There's like
of
a
your-
thing. There's a whole thing going on. Everything like flows through together. It's almost like he's telling a story. The Odyssey looks like a recording of the start of the Odyssey. Yeah, you know what I mean. See, and most people don't have taste, and that's okay. It's okay not to have taste. It's like that's why things are popular, you know? And that's life, you know? That's why things are popular. That's why there's Burger King, you know? And Wendy's and Taco Bell, and KFC, Church's Chicken. You know, that's why there's Church's Chicken and KFC. You know? That's why there's weed shops and KFC. A lot of people don't have taste.
So basically takes Odysseus on as her gigolo, so to speak. I mean, basically he is making love with Calypso all night.
It just is what it is, you know?
He's,
And that's okay.
eating
It
the
is what
White
it is.
Lotus and going off into dreams. This is also an interesting symbol, which is definitely being used in that HBO series. The White
Technically
Lotus,
serviceable is
he's
not.
eating the lotus flower.
Does not equate to good. There needs to be the spark, the divine spark. And unfortunately, Christopher Nolan lacks that.
and drifting off. And
420
so on. She's keeping
Days
him
Vault.
as a love slave. She is a goddess herself.
Paul, there can be different ways stories are told. It's all about execution. I know, dude. It's okay, though. Look, it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, dude. Look, we disagree. You don't understand Joker 2. That's fine.
And
No need to get trolled, dude. No need to get so pissed off about me having a different opinion. It's just art at the end of the day, dude.
in this version, she's so
No need to get so
also,
upset,
particularly
bro.
with like calypso music and the adoption of this. Like you wanted
Just
something
smoke some weed, relax,
overwhelmingly
bro.
sexy or exotic or weird in some way, but it's Charlize Theron who's heavily Botoxed, and she reminds me of like an island MILF or something. Like she's some rich widow who just lives in Hawaii or something. Like she's just too. When she came on screen,
My
I was
taste
like,
is
"Oh
all
yeah, this
these
is
exotic
2026.
strains.
You are a wealthy, maybe slightly loose but sophisticated modern American woman. Like there's no weirdness to Nolan. There's nothing that like
Facts.
takes you out of it
So true.
or is wild. He takes everything literally and he makes it relevant to basically an American and Western European upper class audience. Which is also why I don't think he should do a James Bond movie, because none of his women are sexy or dangerous
Facts.
or a
That's
little
so
bit
true.
crazy. He just doesn't do that. Everyone's moral. Odysseus is no longer the man of twists and turns. He's a shell-shocked Vietnam veteran who feels guilty about the loss of his men. Penelope is well acted. I really liked Penelope's character, but a bit of a boomer feminist, maybe. I mean, I don't know she's like, why can't I be queen? I have so much experience. I mean, which is, to be fair, she makes a good point, but it's not like she's not from an ancient world. She's from the 20th century, the 21st century. And Calypso is an island MILF. It's like he, due to his autism, his autism probably is his greatest strength, but it doesn't allow him to explore things symbolically because he has to take everything literally. It sort of stifles his creativity. And
Art is subjective. Art is not subjective. Art is actually objective, dude.
so
That's
even
okay.
though
I wouldn't expect somebody like Christopher Nolan thinks he's an artist to understand. There'll always be people, dude. There'll always be the nice thing you have to understand if you like Christopher Nolan is you're gonna enjoy all the AI stuff coming out. You know, you're gonna have such a good time watching AI movies, hearing AI songs, reading AI books, prompted books, playing AI games like Night Fort. Because obviously you can't tell the difference. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna have you're entering the golden age.
it is a great film. It's a gray film. It's
You're entering the golden age. You know, the golden age of being a Christopher Nolan fan.
very gray in all senses of the word.
If you love magical realism so much, why do you dislike Lynch? Because Lynch isn't magical realism, dude. He tries to be, but it's not. Guillermo del Toro is good magical realism. You have to be Spanish to do magical realism, I think, properly. You can't be Lynch or whatever. Kubrick loved Lynch. What's that about? I'm glad that they were gay together. I don't care, bro. Look, you guys are so desperate. You guys are desperate, and it's sad. Why can't you just like if I like different people, I like different artists. I'm not pressed when people don't like them because I understand my tastes are better. I understand my taste. I just have my like level of class and taste is just superior. And I just have like a level of like I evolve faster than a lot of people. So as a result, my cognition and my perception and taste with like art and creativity is just literally just superior on a level that just can't be explained. So when I see people like not liking the same thing, I'm not upset. I'm like, okay, that's fine, that's cool. You know, to each their own. You know, some of us are reading Lord of the Rings. Some of us are reading coloring books with no words. You know, some of us are able to read the dictionary. Some of us can't even read the letters. All right, and that's okay. And I'm happy with people. You know, some people they listen to Travis Scott in 2026. Some people they listen to Drake in 2026. You know what I mean? That's okay. Some people they like Beethoven, they like Tchaikovsky. You know what I mean? All those cool old music people. And it's okay. I don't need to convince you guys to listen to like high IQ stuff, you know, that you wouldn't even understand. So why are you upset that I don't necessarily love the artists you love? You know what I mean? You need to relax. Everybody likes different stuff. Some people they like good food, other people like gross food. I do not get upset when people like gross food. I like my food I like. People like food that I don't like. For example, I don't like to eat beans, all right? Beans taste gross to me. They make me shiver. They give me the literal chills. But when I see somebody eating beans, do I get upset? Do I say, oh, that's disgusting? No, I say, I'm happy that person enjoys beans. I can't, for whatever reason, I have autism. The texture makes me like freak out. I can't have beans. I don't like beans. That's fine. So do the same, you know? It's okay if people like stuff you don't like. And that's okay, you know? You gotta relax. You gotta take your blood pressure down a little bit and say different people like different things, right? I like some horror movies you probably wouldn't like. You probably like some horror movies I wouldn't like. And that's okay. Some people like things, some people dislike things. It's not that serious. It's really not. You don't gotta be upset. You don't have to spurg and curse and cry and scream and throw a little baby temper tantrum and a hissy fit. You can listen to Drake. You can listen to Travis Scott. You can watch Christopher Nolan movies and whatever. It's okay. That's fine. Look, it's chill. All right. I'll stick to Greek classics, reading them in Greek and Latin. Okay. I'll read the source material. Okay. I'll recite poems in ancient Greek with perfect diction. You know, at the amphitheater outside. You can watch your movies. Okay, that's okay. It's chill. We all enjoy entertainment in different ways. Okay.
It's just there's nothing exotic. There's nothing ancient about it, even though it does play to that. Because the only way that Christopher Nolan could understand the ancient
I won and you have shit taste. No, that's not true. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what am I doing? I'm making art. Every day I get on here and I carve away a great piece of art known as Night Fort. I carve away a legendary piece of software that's pure art, pure Kino, pure value. And you know, what do? You jerk off to Interstellar or something freaky, and that's okay. We do different things with our free time. I shouldn't let the ruffians, I shouldn't let the proles distract me from my calling, from God's demands on me, you know? I shouldn't let people who have no taste kind of distract from the destiny I have, you know?
World would be like, what is its like overriding moral system? Like, what is its source code? Oh, Zeus's law, hospitality. Okay.
I don't know. People are so mad about it. I'm starting to think maybe I should just say Odyssey is bad. People get so upset about it.
Okay, well, he breaks hospitality. You know, like that's how he does things, which is smart on some level, but is
People get
very
so mad,
limiting
dude.
on another level. So I don't know. Dark Odysseus Rises. I mean, that is maybe how I would describe it. It's a great movie.
I
but
distracted
it's a
you from
Christopher
Fortnite
Nolan
for it? No, you didn't, dude. It was doing development in the background. While we were talking, it was doing all my work for me. My robot was doing all my work.
movie. And
The key
it
of
could have been a
joy is
great movie.
disobedience. How
with-
much is Christopher Nolan paying you guys? That's my real question. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Are you getting paid enough to glaze this level? To glaze at this level, dude? Does it make you happy?
with a different source material.
Is it worth it?
And all of the symbolism that is present in Homer's epic has been defenestrated. So that is my
I'll say it's good for like $1,000 or something. Sign me up. You did not win, Jeffy. You did not win.
critical appreciation of the Odyssey.
You're just
I don't
look.
know if you guys have
It's
any
okay to
thoughts
get
on
paid. Look, whether it's Israel, whether it's Christopher Nolan, however much they're paying you, I'm happy for you. It's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, you got to make your money somehow. You know what I mean? So if you need to pretend that Interstellar was amazing, if you need to pretend that Christopher Nolan makes art, then that's okay. It's not a big deal. All right. If you like Travis Scott, if you think Travis Scott is an Odyssean warrior, if you think rap music is something that is like suited for whatever, for ancient Greek epics or whatever, Roman epics, ancient Roman epics, then that's cool. All right. If that's making you enough money, don't let me get you upset. Look, I'm not mad. I just want to make this clear to you guys. I'm not mad that you enjoy it. I'm happy that you can enjoy movies. It's good. Everyone has to enjoy things, right? I've been watching Cape Fear. I like Cape Fear a lot. It's a good show. You know, it's a fun show. If I saw that you guys like the show but I didn't like it, I would, or if I like the show but you don't like it, I would hope you wouldn't be upset that I like the show, obviously, because it's like he likes the show, he's enjoying the show. But if you should be happy that I watch it, you know? You shouldn't be like, oh, you know, obviously you wouldn't be mad that I liked it if you didn't like it. I wouldn't be mad if you didn't like it. If you don't like Cape Fear, that doesn't upset me, right? I don't have any problems. I don't have any emotional distress from the idea that there's people who hate Cape Fear. Because guess what? It's just the show. It's not, this is just entertainment. This is just fun, relaxing. You know, you get off a day of work, you crack open a cold beer, you watch Cape Fear, and you say, that was fun. Or you say, I hated that, and I won't ever watch that again. You know, you don't like it, I say, fine, whatever floats your boat, that's okay. That's chill. I don't have any problem with you not liking a show. Because to me, my enjoyment of the show doesn't revolve around you guys. It doesn't revolve around other people liking it. It's like, you know what? This is a really comfy show. It's very fun. And I like it. But if Jeffy doesn't like it, I wouldn't be upset because I'd be like, you know what, Jeffy? Maybe something about it triggers him, right? Maybe Javier or whatever, Bolsonaro. He doesn't like Javier Bolsonaro, you know? And that's okay. You know, it's chill. Not a big deal. So I don't understand. The thing that's throwing me for a loop here is that I thought we were all reasonable people here. And I thought we all understood that different people have different tastes, different people like different things, and it's okay. But all I look at my chat, I just see message after message after message of these man children, these obese, disgusting man children, losing their shit, absolutely losing their minds, looking like absolute idiots, like they need help, they need psychological help. They need to be taken away from their home and placed into a psychiatric ward and put in a straitjacket before they hurt themselves. That I'm not a super Christopher Nolan fan. And I'm worried about you guys, and I'm really just trying to just make sure you're okay and make sure you're understanding things. I feel like I wound you up a little bit. Maybe I wound you up a little too much. Maybe I made you guys feel bad or something. But it's okay. You can like Christopher Nolan. I don't think any less of you. I don't besmirch you anything. I don't feel angry at you. I don't think less of you. There's certain artists and movies and stuff I like that are probably not that good. Certain directors that I think are cool that probably aren't that cool. You know, there's always an element of taste to personal preference in terms of like movies and directors. And I want you guys to know, it's getting late. I want you guys to know as we go into the night, I don't want you guys to get so mad and stressed and full of anger and hatred that you lose your mind and you do something rash. I don't want you guys to hurt anybody. I don't want you guys to get violent. I want you guys to understand it's okay. Even if I don't necessarily love Christopher Nolan, you can love him. You can think he's the best thing ever. I don't think less of you. I don't think poorly of you guys. I'm not judging you. I'm not mad at you. You're loved, you're cared about, you are valid, your feelings are valid. You pass, okay? You all pass. And you don't need to be upset. You don't need to feel like I'm judging you. Nolan is a great director. He's an auteur, however you say it. I'm not a Christopher Nolan fan, but he's a legend. And if that helps you sleep at night, just imagine me saying he's a legend, an absolute legend, one of the greatest creators of all time, maybe the best movie maker in all of history. And if that helps you sleep at night, if it helps you calm down, then I'm happy to say it. I'm happy to say it and help you guys progress further in your life. You know. And now do you feel better? But yeah, I don't know. Lesson learned, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't understand. He's a fucking legend, and what are you, Nightfort? I didn't know, dude. I didn't know. You know. But now Paul's gonna say Javier is bad. Look, it is what it is. So I'm glad we can move forward, and now we can all be happy.
Paultown viewer _ new sent $5.
Why is the Odyssey Christopher Nolan's worst movie so far? Because Nolan may have made a huge mistake by adapting the second half of a story most viewers never saw. If you know the Iliad, Odysseus returning home after helping destroy Troy feels tragic. The war broke him, his soldiers are dead, and home is the only thing keeping him alive. But the movie barely builds that history for normal viewers. It suddenly introduces Troy, Agamemnon, Helen, and a damaged Odysseus, then expects everyone to care. Without that setup, why would a casual viewer want to spend nearly 3 hours watching an old man sail home? The pacing makes it worse. Odysseus reaches an island, something attacks them, more soldiers die, and they sail again. After a while, it becomes repetitive, and sometimes genuinely boring. Nolan could have easily removed 15 or 20 minutes. Then comes the casting. Elliot Page as Shinon eventually makes sense, but Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy feels completely mismatched. Putting a black character into an ancient Greek story without any explanation or proper world building feels less like